Kyler Murray was the first pick in the 2019 draft. Second pick was Nick Bosa. And we knew this was coming, Chris. We could sense it for weeks. And as it turns out, Matt Mayoko of NBC Sports Bay Area pointed out over the weekend that the 49ers decided on Nick Bosa at the scouting combine, and they told Bosa's camp at the time he was going to be the pick at number 2. So here's the thing. We saw 3 years ago Joey Bosa hold out deep into training camp, almost through the entire preseason, because they were fighting over a couple of factors that are relevant to the top contracts every year, the cash flow of the signing bonus, whether or not the guaranteed money is going to have offset language. They fought about it. He held out. They got it done. Now questions are arising as to whether or not Nick Bosa will have a deal done in time for training camp. Chris, if the 49ers knew in February they wanted this guy, I'd like to think that they've accepted the fact that they're going to have to give him the same kind of structure his brother got at a minimum, or they're going to have to do without him during training camp in the preseason.
Yeah, and that's scary for a guy who's, again, not played a lot of football and had injury issues. I certainly would want him there for training camp. And that, to me, I have no knowledge of this situation. But, okay, with the Joey Bosa situation, it was the Chargers not basically living up to what you're supposed to do for top 5 picks, right? And just as far as like some of the money you're supposed to get, the guaranteed money in the first 2 years.
It's the cash flow. Here's what it is.
Right.
It's how quickly they pay out your signing bonus. The Chargers had a way of doing it that allowed the money to stay in their coffers longer than other teams did it, and the Chargers came up against an agent and a player who said, no, we want a different structure. And they eventually found a compromise, but it's all, look, when you draft Joey Bosa, you don't necessarily know what you're getting yourself into from that perspective. When you draft his kid brother 3 years later and you know what's happened with Joey and he's represented by the same agents, you're on notice that these are issues. So, I'd like to think the 49ers have budgeted that reality into their assessment of Bosa. Otherwise, they're going to end up not having him for training camp in the preseason, just like the Chargers didn't have Joey. So we'll see. Maybe it won't be an issue because the 49ers know.
Is there an injury provision they're trying to put in the contract? Something along those lines because of a guy who's just had hernia surgery and, of course, gets to training or OTAs and gets hurt again.
What can you put in there?
Know,
you're not going to do a split contract for the second overall pick in the draft.
I was just asking you. I was just throwing it out there, right?
No. Yeah. He's going to get $33.5 million fully guaranteed over 4 years. The only things that really matter, the guaranteed money. If he gets cut at some point the next 4 years and he goes somewhere else, do the 49ers get credit, dollar for dollar, for what he makes elsewhere? That offset language, taking the offset language out, that's one of the things you can negotiate, and from time to time we see a fight over that. And then it's the cash flow of the signing bonus. When do you get that bonus? Because there's value in having money in your account. You can earn interest off of that money. You can do things with that money.
Right.
So if the signing bonus is $15 million, you want it all as soon as possible. You don't want $5 million now, $5 million 6 months from now, and $5 million a year after that. You want $15 million within 30 days if you can get it.
Right. So you can start getting the interest that the team wants to get. That's you're right. That's what they want. Sorry.
Yeah, and so here's the bottom line is this. The 49ers knew or should have known what they were getting into with Nick Bosa, because there's no reason to think he'll approach this any differently than his brother Joey did. So we'll see how much they factored that into their planning, their preparation. But if there's a holdout, they can't act surprised, right? Especially if the terms of and that's all it would be. It's cash flow on the signing bonus or it's guarantee offsets. There isn't much else. There isn't anything else that you can fight about with those top picks. It's also formulaic at this point. You almost don't even need an agent for them, Chris.
Right. No, you don't need an agent. They kind of write themselves. So, yeah, I mean, I'm surprised to hear about this too. I didn't really catch wind of this until, late last night, really, when I kind of just was flipping through all kinds of news. I didn't realize this was really a ongoing thing. So I will be surprised or interested to see how it all unfolds. And I'm shocked that we're at this point really with the 49ers.
Well, there's still plenty of time.
Yeah. Right.
Still plenty of time to get it done before the start of training camp. If they get it done, it won't matter. But there's reason, if you're a 49ers fan or just paying attention to what's happening in the NFL, to watch that number 2 spot, because so many of the guys are currently signed. These deals are easily done. Kyler Murray's deal's done, right? These deals are easy to do, but what happens is you get agents and players who want to dig in on these issues. It's their opportunity to kind of stand up to the machine, and that's what Joey Bosa did, and I think Nick Bosa probably wired the same way. Same agents. It's just something to keep an eye on.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.